Hello, 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 and welcome to the Cristo Rey Network Virtual College Fair. My name is Sibel. I will be your facilitator for this evening's session. I'm super excited to be here. We have some amazing presenters and panelists here from some amazing colleges and universities to tell you a little bit about themselves. Just a reminder, though, it is an appetizer session, so each of these universities and colleges gets about 6 minutes to tell you a little bit about themselves, just a taste, and then it is up to you to follow up for that entree session, right? But a couple of housekeeping items before we get started. Your camera and microphone are turned off, you're muted, and your video is turned off so the panelists cannot see or hear you. So it is a webinar style format, but you're probably wondering, well, Sibel, how in the world do I ask my questions? That in and of itself is a great question. You will use the Q&A button in your Zoom toolbar to type in your questions to the presenters at any time. If you look at your Zoom toolbar, that Q&A button is somewhere in the middle. You'll go ahead, click on that, type in your questions to the presenters at any time, and they will go ahead and type back the answer to the question. Two things, please do not wait until the last minute. We only have 45 minutes, so please make sure you're getting those questions in throughout the presentation. And then also, if you can put the college or university's name within the question, then we know who it goes to. That would be super helpful as well. Also, sign up for more sessions. This is one out of many college presentations that are offered. So check the schedule. There are things going on after this particular session, as well as things going on this weekend. So please make sure you check the website. Last but not least, if you want to relive the fun with us, or maybe somebody missed out on today's sessions, all of the sessions are being recorded and will be available at strivescan.com/Cristo-Rey. With that said, and without further ado, I would love to get started with our first college up for today's session, which is Stonehill College.
It sure is. Well, thank you for that introduction. It was efficient. It was great. I'm going to try to match that efficiency in this quick little, like you said, appetizer sort of presentation for Stonehill. So first of all, my name is Brendan. I'm an assistant dean of admission up at Stonehill College, located in Easton, Massachusetts. And so in terms of landmarks, in terms of where that is, if you haven't heard of the famous Easton, Massachusetts, we're located about 22 miles south of Boston, which is cool for our students in a couple of ways, because as you can kind of see behind me, we have a pretty great campus green, and there's actually an Instagram dedicated to the grass we have on campus, which I think is funny and pretty useful knowledge in terms of like what it is our campus looks like. There's a lot of dedication to grass, a lot of dedication to open space. But like I said, being 22 miles south of Boston, our freshmen can have cars on campus. And so the city is accessible as well, if that's something that you want to get into. So that's kind of where we are. Like I said, located Easton, Massachusetts. We're at about 2,500 students. And so what that means is we try to strike the balance similar to having our own campus green, a place to throw a Frisbee around, and things like that. We try to strike the balance between that and being close to the city, while also having 2,500 students. Try to strike the balance between a really close-knit, tight-knit campus community, but not having too small of a campus where it feels high school-y and maybe feels a little bit too small, and still try to afford our students those big opportunities and things like that. So about 2,500 students. We're a highly residential campus. And so what that means is our students are staying on campus for 4 years for the most part, if they're not commuting. And I think with that, it works out in a couple of different ways, right? You get to sort of avoid the junior, senior year, maybe off-campus apartment hunting that could maybe be a little bit confusing, even though some schools might have offices that are lined up for that. But it's also cool because I think there's a level of respect that our students will bring to campus early on freshman year, not only for the people that they're inhabiting the campus with, right? Those are your neighbors for 4 years, but for the place. I think it's really it's a unique thing that comes about being having all of our students in-house kind of on campus. So as I said, we're a smaller school where our average class size is 17, student faculty ratio is 11-1. That's great because hopefully we have people in the audience or people that are viewing this recording whenever they're viewing it. Hopefully they have a favorite teacher. Hopefully they have someone in high school that they like to go to class and, dare I say, learn something in said class, right? And so that relationship building and that dynamic is definitely something that's super prevalent at Stonehill. I think that dynamic of personal relationship and favorite teacher to being really close with students definitely comes to fruition for a lot of our students. And I think it's a huge reason why Stonehill students really, really appreciate their professors and just their student experience in general. Of course, it does make it a little bit more difficult if you decided not to do the homework that night because there's less people to choose from in said class. But I think that makes our students academically put their best foot forward. In terms of academics, Stonehill is a liberal arts institution. So intentionally, we try to stay away from the whole Stonehill is a blank school, right? Stonehill is a business school. Stonehill is a science school. We're liberal arts in nature. And so what that means is we really appreciate our graduates being well-rounded, and our academic programs and popular majors kind of reflect that, because there's nothing necessarily that super dominates our percentages in popular majors and things like that. Of course, we do have a plethora of information on our website that students can draw from in terms of if they want to contact the professors within a specific major. In terms of internships and study abroad and some of those experiential learning experiences, over 80% of our students are doing at least one internship. I think a lot of that has to do with how strong our faculty members are recommending them, and being close and accessible to Boston, while also the surrounding Easton area has plenty of business opportunity as well. And study abroad's kind of back. I think my fellow admission professionals will agree that it has been not a fun one to talk about the last couple cycles. And so luckily Stonehill is sort of back in terms of having about around 100 students, which is on average for us, about 40 in the spring, 60 in the fall, to study abroad, which is really exciting. In terms of application, I know I got about 60-ish seconds left, but in terms of application, it's important for you to know that we are test blind at Stonehill. So we are not considering the SAT, ACT at all. We don't think it is it's indicative of who you are as a student, right? That 3-hour-long Saturday morning where you barely are getting the crusties out of your eyes, and you have to take this life-changing test. We prefer our students to kind of be right around that 3.3 GPA, around a B+. Honors and AP courses are huge to us. We really appreciate those. And I'll kind of use my last chunk of time to talk a little bit about the commitment we have to Cristo Rey students. So we are a university partner for the Cristo Rey network and all students that come from Cristo Rey schools. And so for that reason, our financial aid works out really well for Cristo Rey students. So thanks a lot for listening to me. Hopefully I think I'm getting close to my end here, but if you have any questions, my contact information is here. Happy to share it at any point. And thanks for listening. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you so much. If you have any questions for Stonehill College, please put it in the Q&A. Next up, we have Bentley University. Vivian, it looks like you are muted.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Buenas noches. My name is Viviana Suavita, and I am one of the associate directors in the undergraduate admissions office at Bentley University. I hope that everyone can see this screen that shares a little bit of information, some important statistics about the school. Bentley University is located in Waltham, Massachusetts, which is 9 miles outside of Boston. In addition to that, it's interesting because we are very much historically known for being a business university. So if you are able to see our majors on the screen, you will see that we have those very traditional accounting, finance, economics, marketing, management majors that we have a long history with. At the same time, however, we do offer some offerings in the arts and sciences. Starting with this current freshman class, our students are now able to double major. So if you have various different interests, you can definitely double major in subjects that seem interesting to you. However, what is important to know is that regardless if you end up pursuing a business degree or a liberal arts and science degree, All of our students will have a business perspective or a business focus as part of their overall core curriculum. So just like you would have to take a writing class, a math class, computer science class at any institution that you enroll, you would do the same at Bentley. But in addition to that, all of our students also take an accounting 101, marketing 101, management 101 course as well. So we do have that sort of specialized view within the business world. In addition to that, to talk a little bit about campus overall, we are about 4,000 undergraduate students, which means that your average classroom size would be between 26 and 28 students. The largest classroom size that you would experience at Bentley would be 35 students. So if you come from smaller classrooms in which you know that you enjoy being able to connect with your teachers and you enjoy being able to ask questions, say after class, that may be something that's important for you in your college career. If you come from much larger classrooms and you're looking for this sort of interaction, that's something that might be important to you as well. To tell you a little bit about campus, we, again, like I said, are 9 miles outside of Boston, which is fantastic. We have a very beautiful traditional college campus in which everything that you need is located right there. For us, we do not allow our freshmen to have cars on campus unless you are a commuter student, but you can moving sophomore year forward. It's okay though, because everything that you need, again, is on campus. We have a shuttle system that will take you to several different stops. And we have over 100 organizations, clubs. We have intramural sports. We're an NCAA Division II school with our men's ice hockey team actually being Division I. So the boys do play some bigger name schools, Army, Navy, which is kind of fun to be a part of that. Some very important facts that you will see on this slide are our statistics. We have been ranked #1 by Princeton Review for our Career Services Office, which is very important. Our students start to prepare in a very successful, driven mentality and culture as early as freshman year. A fun little fact about Bentley is that although internships are not required in order to graduate, 97% of our students complete at least one before graduating, and 74% of our students complete 2 or more before graduating, as internships can become incredibly important for networking connections, getting that hands-on learning experience, and is essentially what leads to these fantastic statistics of an average starting salary of $63,000 and a 99% placement rate, which means that 6 months after graduation, our grads are working in the field and or enrolled in a graduate program, whether it's at Bentley or at a different institution. Something that we're incredibly proud about is all of the different initiatives that we have started at Bentley, particularly for our first generation students. We have some very specific scholarships in which all you have to do is just make sure that your financial aid forms, like the FAFSA and the CSS profile, if necessary, are filled out. And then it's an internal process in which we would tell the student if they qualified or a recipient of one of these special scholarships. Another very important thing is that this freshman class that just started was our largest and most diverse class ever at Bentley, which I'm very proud to say. 25% of the freshman class are first generation students, so first ones in their family to go to college, and 30% of the freshman class identified as students of color. So great initiatives taking place at Bentley. We're very proud of everything that is going on, and I still have some time, just wanted to make sure. Again, my name is Viviana Suavita, and I'm an associate director. So if anyone has any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out and contact me. The information is available on the website. Thank you very much.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. If you have any questions for Bentley University, please put it in the Q&A. Next up, we have College of Holy Cross.
Hello, everyone. My name is Courtney Lima, and I am the Associate Director of Admissions at College of the Holy Cross. So first and foremost, at Holy Cross, we are a small undergraduate only institution. So as you can see, We have about 3,100 students that attend Holy Cross. As you also heard, we are an undergraduate only institution. So what that means is that we do not have any master's or PhD programs on our campus. Now, depending upon what you are looking for, some students see that as a plus or minus. We actually see it as one of our greatest strengths per the resources that our students receive on campus, especially when it comes to research opportunities that I will touch base later on in the presentation. Since we are a small institution, all of our classes are taught by professors. You can see an average classroom size of about 19 students. Our biggest classroom cannot fit more than 50 students. So if you're really looking for an institution where you get to know your professors, you're not a number in the classroom, Holy Cross is a great place for that. And you see our student to faculty ratio is 10:1, and our 4-year graduation rate is about 86%. Something that I want to touch base more on the graduation rate is that is an average of all of our students. But if we break down further into our different student demographics, it's great to see that all of our first generation students are graduating in the 90th percentile in 4 years, and also all of our students of color. As a first gen student myself, to me, those are very important statistics. And I want students to know that with all their identities, they are supported on campus to graduate on time. Now, something about Holy Cross is that we do not admit based on majors. It is actually a requirement for all first-year students to be undercleared. We are a liberal arts institution, so we really want students to explore, and we really want to alleviate the I need to know what I'm going to do for the rest of my life at 17 years old. So the majority of our students declare their major at the end of sophomore year. But I always like to remind students, as long as there's something that interests you on this list, Holy Cross is a great fit. I do want to touch base on our pre-professional programs. For students that are interested in pre-med, bio and chemistry in our pre-med program is one of our strongest programs on campus. We have a 72 placement rate for med school. And for students who are interested in law school, we have a 92% placement rate. Now, I talked about research earlier, and then I'm also going to touch base on internships. Because we do not have master's and PhD programs, for students who are interested in doing research, they can start research as early as their freshman year on campus, and we have increased paid research opportunities to alleviate any barriers for students. We have a first-year program called FRAP that is for our students of color to increase access within the sciences for students of color on our campus. For internships, our students can complete them during the school year or get paid internships during the summer. This summer, some of my students were able to travel to Atlanta to work for BlackRock in their HR department, and I had another student doing a policy internship in New York City. Now, we're a campus full of spirit. A fun fact about Holy Cross is that we are Division I for sports. Is not something that a lot of people think of for a small liberal arts college. And we have over 100 clubs and organizations on our campus. So where are we located? We are located in Worcester, Massachusetts, and I love to describe Worcester as a trifecta of cities. We are about an hour away from Boston and an hour away from Providence. And fun fact, we are the second largest city in New England. And it's definitely a great college town. As you can see, home of 8 colleges. And if you are a fan of baseball, we have the minor league of the Red Sox right in downtown, about 10 minutes away from campus. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about getting into Holy Cross and affording Holy Cross. So here at Holy Cross, we are an early decision school. So that means if you apply early to Holy Cross, your decision is binding. So if you get in, you're committing to go into Holy Cross. But we also have regular decision on January 15th, which is a non-binding decision. So you can apply to more than one school. If you get in, you can wait to receive your financial aid awards and compare packages after that. Now, what do we look for in a student? First and foremost, your academic record. We read students in the context of where they are coming from. Our average GPA is about a 3.8. Testing is not required for us. We are test optional, and about half of our students are applying without their test scores, and about half of those students are admitted without testing. So if you are a student that is worried about testing and you don't want to submit your test scores, I want to rest assured that you're in good company with a lot of our students while applying to Holy Cross. We look at your essay, and that's your only the essay on the Common App. We do not have any supplements. We will look at what you are involved in, and that can be, are you an athlete? Do you do community service? But do you work a part-time job? Do you take care of a family member? Anything that's taking up your time outside of the classroom, we would like to know about. At Holy Cross, we meet 100% financial aid for students and their families. So that means when you fill out the CSS profile and the FAFSA, whatever number those forms spit out, we will meet your needs. So let's just say that number says your family can afford zero for college. We will give you a full tuition grant to attend Holy Cross. And as you can see, we give out a lot of financial aid for our students there. Now, if you have any questions, that is my email. Again, Courtney Lima, the Associate Director of Admissions. My personal territories are Florida, Rhode Island, Maryland, Virginia, and DC. So if you're from any of those territories, I would definitely love to hear from you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. If you have any questions for the College of Holy Cross, please put it in the Q&A. All right, next up, we have Hampshire College.
Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining me. My name is Bernadette Burke. I use she, her pronouns. I am Senior Associate Director of Admissions at Hampshire. Hampshire College is a liberal arts institution. We are about 52 years old. We were developed actually by 4 other schools: Amherst College, Smith College, Mount Holyoke College, as well as the University of Massachusetts at Amherst, which is the flagship campus of our system here in Massachusetts. We're about 90 miles west of Boston, 150 miles north of New York City, and there is easy transportation to both of them. We're a fairly rural campus, although with 5 colleges within 15 minutes, we have a really interesting mix between that ruralness as well as a lot of city transplants, believe it or not. So there's a lot of opportunity for culture, food, academic, and intellectual abilities, which is really wonderful. As part of our residential programming here at Hampshire, we have 800 acres, which if you have ever been to New York City, that's the approximate size of Central Park. All students get single dorms from the very beginning, and we have always done that. We're also test-free, test-blind since 2014. We were the first college in the United States to go fully test-free, test-blind. And that really means that we're looking at you holistically. We want to know who you are as a person. We don't want to just see your test scores. We really, really want to know who you are. In addition to what we offer on our campus, in addition to being a sustainability campus, we're almost net zero for electricity consumption. We have 3 solar arrays on our campus. We have a living building, which is the highest level of green building in the world. We were the 17th building in the world to be certified that way. We have a working farm, but in addition, we also have this crazy amount of classes available among the 5 colleges. There are 7,000 classes available to you, even though we only have approximately 600 students on campus. And the way that we do that is utilizing those other 4 schools that developed Hampshire. As I said, Amherst, Smith, Mount Holyoke, and UMass. There's a free bus system that runs among all of the schools. So it really gives you an opportunity to develop your own major while also having access to a tremendous amount of coursework. We ask you to develop a program during your 4th year that is the equivalent of about 5 to 8 independent courses, and that project and program that you develop, you are working with your faculty advisor to create something new in the field while also learning in the field. A majority of our students actually do what is considered a double major in other schools because of the interdisciplinary approach that our students take. All of our classes are under 20 students. We range, this year, our student to teacher or faculty ratio is actually 15 to 1. It's usually 12 to 1, but we had an increase in student activities this year. Student attendance this year. So we actually went down a little bit in that, which is both exciting to us, but also a little bit different. At Hampshire, you design your own major. We don't really use the phrase major. We use the phrasing Mostly we actually say areas of study, but there's a few different phrases that we use. Additionally, we also have a division system. So rather than freshmen, sophomore, juniors, we actually use Division 1, Division 2, and Division 3. Division 1 is first year, Division 2 is second and third year, Division 3 is fourth year. And in Division 3 is when you do that really large project. Some students might know about a capstone project. We actually sort of consider it a capstone project on steroids because of the number of courses that it takes place of. We also give full narrative evaluations. We have done that from the beginning of our existence because we really believe that rather than having students compete against one another, we want you to think of yourself as a lifelong learner and how do you get better as a learner. And by doing that, we ask you to think about where you are starting and where you want to take your learning. And that definitely is part of that narrative evaluation system. We also have what we call learning collaboratives. This is a little bit difficult, so getting into this very short sort of teaser program, it's hard to get into it too far, but the idea is that the learning collaboratives are asking you to address real world problems. So within the classes that you're taking, you're also really thinking about things about social justice, climate change, media and technology, and also time and narrative. You know, how do we understand truth in a post-truth era? What are our responsibilities during a time in which we are facing a very crisis time within climate change, things like that. So about half of our classes address at least some of those issues, and that is a very concerted effort among our faculty to be able to concentrate some of their learning around those areas. As I said earlier, we are fully test-free, test-blind in our application process. We do not require the CSS profile. Every student who comes gets a merit award, anywhere from $27,000 to $35,000. We do not ask you to fill out any other paperwork for that. And the last few things I'll say is that 1 in 4 of our alum go on to start their own business or a nonprofit. 85% of our students are alum or in their preferred placement 6 months after graduating, and 65% of our students or alum go on to get a PhD or a master's within 10 years. So with that, I will put my info in the chat. I really hope that you will join us in the future. We have a virtual event coming up on November 11th, and I will put the info in the chat for that. Thanks so much for joining me.
Thank you. If you have any questions for Hampshire College, please put it in the Q&A. Next up, we have Williams College.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kaylin Firedancing. I'm an admission counselor at Williams. I'm really excited to talk to you today about our college. This is a photo of our campus, but I'll dig right into some information about us. This is a little bit about our community. We are located in the Berkshire County, which is a gorgeous region of Massachusetts. We're right next to Vermont and New York, about 3 hours from Boston, 3 hours from New York City. I'll let you kind of look at the slide in terms of some of the facts of our community. But what I'll say is that our incredibly diverse and amazing community, coming from 97 countries and all over the US, is that we really think of ourselves as a community, and it really goes a long way towards building the kinds of education that we want to give our students. A little bit about our academics. We have a 7-to-1 student to professor ratio. That's among the lowest you'll find in the country. And we're really fortunate to have tremendous resources that allow us to have a really rigorous academic culture. But at the same time, we have such a collaborative culture where students in the most difficult classes are working together, doing their homework together, asking questions, expressing confusion. And I think that's a really special thing about Williams. We really want our students to explore across the curriculum. And so we only have a few requirements. We ask that you take a few courses in each of our 3 divisions, which you can see there on the slide. And otherwise, you're really free to explore. And that exploration leads our students to many amazing things, including several double majors at our college. We also have something called concentrations, which is our version of a minor. but it's interdisciplinary. So you couldn't concentrate in biology, but you could concentrate in neuroscience or Africana studies. And so these different areas of study are really explored by all of our students. We have several students studying 2 to 4 things. And I think that's something that says a lot about Williams, from the math, art, history double majors to the computer science, theater double majors. It's a really big part of what we do at Williams. We're also really famous for a signature class that we offer called the tutorial. It's a class that involves just 2 students and 1 professor for an entire semester. And we're the only school in North America that offers these to the level that we do. We offer it at every discipline and every single level. And these classes are really amazing because they're driven by students' independent work. And so each week you'll be either writing a paper, or maybe doing a math proof, or maybe doing a music composition, and then switching off with your partner each week, producing independent work, and then critiquing that independent work. And so there's amazing work that's being driven by our students, and often the pairs in these classes do very different work just based on what the students are interested in. So this takes up about 10% of our course offerings. So it's a really big part of our curriculum, and something that our students definitely take advantage of. That's really amazing. Research is also a really amazing offering at Williams. We're in this really sweet spot where we have professors at the top of their field. We're a highly selective college, and our professors are doing research that sometimes is not being done anywhere else in the country. But at the same time, we don't have graduate students that our undergrad students are competing with. And so our 2,200 undergrads are free to not only really take up the course offerings and the attention of their professors in class, but also to really enjoy the attention of our professors in their research. Our professors really think of their research as hand in hand with their teaching, and our students just really enjoy the bulk of that. So if you want to do research at Williams, it's really as easy as just asking a professor to get in their lab, or to sponsor your individual project. And 40% of our students are doing research at some point, which is really incredible. We have 300 students here every summer who are doing research on campus, fully paid, free housing, taking advantage of those amazing opportunities. I'll finish by talking a little bit about affordability. We're really famous at Williams for launching the nation's first all-grant financial aid program. What that means is that we have no loans in our financial aid packages, and also we don't require our students to do work study during the year or to contribute from summer earnings. This is already benefiting so many of our students who are able to spend the semester really pouring themselves into their passions, whether that's a job that is still, a paid opportunity that isn't kind of a weekly hour-based position, or whether that's doing something that isn't a job that allows them to really pursue their passions. So this is, again, really unique, something that we're hoping more colleges will follow with, but we're really fortunate to have the resources to be able to offer this. About 1/5 of our students are going to Williams completely free. And we also offer free textbooks, free health insurance, free summer storage, and a host of other things to all of our students on financial aid. So financial aid is a really big factor at Williams. We really want to make sure that students have the ability to enjoy all that a selective college can offer without having to worry about whatever financial circumstances you come from. So those are a few things about Williams. If you want to connect with us further, feel free to check out our website. We have plenty of information there. You can also email us at admission@williams.edu. And we also have an Instagram that's really fun. We try to highlight different stories from the college that's a little bit different from the college Instagram. So if you're on Instagram and want to follow us there, feel free to do that as well. But thank you so much for hearing a little bit about Williams, and I'll pass it on to my colleagues. Thanks.
Thank you so much. If you have any questions for Williams College, please put it in the Q&A. All right, next up, we have St. Anselm College.
All right, so my name is Mary Lou McCambley. I am an Associate Director of Admission at St. Anselm College. I'm also the Coordinator of Diversity Recruitment. and the liaison for the Cristo Rey network, as St. Anselm College is a university partner. So who are we? We are a small liberal arts Benedictine Catholic college in New England. We're the only Benedictine Catholic college in New England. We are in Manchester, New Hampshire, which is the largest city in New Hampshire. It's also the most diverse city in the state. So with the Benedictines, we have 10 hallmarks of our education. And as you can see, Benedictines are known for their hospitality. We have a monastic community on campus. What that means is we have Benedictine monks who reside on the campus. We actually are guests in their home. They have a monastery behind the chapel. They take a vow of stability. So as you can see, that's one of the hallmarks. But basically the hallmarks are ingrained in the education you're going to receive at the school. Students do not need to be Catholic to attend our school. We actually don't keep track of who is and who isn't. We want our students to follow their own spiritual path. So we do offer Mass for students who do attend. They are not mandated to do that, but for students who are not of the faith, we do have a multi-faith prayer room on campus, so students can utilize that, as well as different locations throughout Manchester with easy access to public transportation to come on and off campus. Students are allowed to have a car all 4 years, so that is a benefit to our students to be able to do that. So some facts and figures of the Hilltop. We have a little bit less than 2,000 students on campus. Classroom sizes are around 18, and we have an 11-to-1 student-teacher ratio. We have over 100 academic programs on our campus, and we are situated, like I said, in the southern most active part of the state. And so there's a lot to do in Manchester. We have a minor league baseball team. We have the Southern New Hampshire University Arena down there where you can go to concerts. There's a lot of great restaurants downtown. Like I said, it's a diverse community, but we're about 45 minutes from the ocean. So you can go to the beach if you'd like, or we're about an hour or so from some of the larger mountains. So if you like to ski and snowboard, you can do that as well. We're about an hour from Boston. So that's an opportunity for our students to get on a bus, take the Boston Express down to Boston for the day, and then come back onto campus. So here are all our majors and our minors. Something to note is that we do have 6 pre-professional programs, and pre-health has some subcategories. So that has physician assistant, physical therapy, pharmacy, and optometry. And we also have 2 master's programs on campus. We have a master's of art in criminology and criminal justice. And then we also have a master's in special education for those who are in our secondary ed and our elementary education programs. We do have a couple of new majors that are on here that I like to highlight because I think that they're up and coming majors that students are really interested in. We have health sciences, legal studies, cyber criminology, info systems, data analytics, and public health. Eventually, so I'd like to actually highlight our top 10 programs on campus. So we are more known for our business, our nursing, criminal justice, communication, politics. We do host the first presidential primary debates on our campus. So we do make national news once every 4 years. And so there's a lot that goes on with that, and students are really interested in that. But we're also strong in our biology and our secondary ed, our elementary ed, and our psychology programs. So those are in our top 10. Nursing is our only direct entry program. Every other program you're applying to St. Anselm College, but with nursing, you are applying to nursing. If you don't like nursing and you want to change your major, you can do that, but you can't do it the other way around. So students aren't able to apply undecided and then want to go into the nursing program. Unfortunately, we only have 100 spots available for that program. And it is a competitive program. So students do have to know that that's what they want to do. There's 2 deadlines for that: early action and early decision only. For every other major, you do have the option of regular decision as well. Eventually, we will have a School of Nursing and Health Sciences. So we are attaching the health sciences to our nursing program, and we are in the process of building a new facility on campus. So this year is the groundbreaking, and it'll take roughly 3 years to get done, but eventually we will have that all housed in one area. Okay, so when you're applying to St. Anselm College, let me go back to that. We are on the Common App, or we have the St. Anselm app. I always say to students, email me, call me for a fee waiver if you'd like. If you are a first generation college student, there is a tab on there to actually get the fee waiver or the fee waived right then and there. But I always say to students, if you don't have to pay for that application, do not do that. And you can contact me and I will help you out with that. We are looking for a transcript, secondary school report, and one academic recommendation letter from a school counselor or a teacher. And then test scores were optional for all of our programs, including nursing. And we have a do no harm policy. The do no harm policy just simply means that if you're at home and you're trying to decide whether you should submit them or not, go ahead and submit them. On our end, we'll look at it. And if we feel like it's going to hurt your application, we will take them out. If we feel like it's going to help your application, we will leave them in. That's both for the admission part and the merit part. So if we feel like you could earn more merit, if we don't use your test scores, then we'll take it out because we want to help the students as best as we can. You can see the 3 deadlines. And as I said before, nursing only has the first 2 deadlines. So here's what our students look like. So overall, typically non-nursing students, the average is around the GPA average is around a 3.3. For nursing, the average is around a 3.6. So as you can see, the GPA for nursing is higher because again, that is our most competitive program on campus. All right, so financing your education. We do encourage all families to complete FAFSA.
Mary Lou, I'm gonna have to stop you there. You're over time. I'm sorry.
Really? Wow. I thought I was okay.
It goes by super quickly. If you want to just quickly wrap up, go for it.
Okay, not a problem. I do want to let you know we do offer merit scholarships for Cristo Rey students. We have up to 4 scholarships for our Cristo Rey students, 85%. Up to 8, that meets the need of 85% of your tuition. I am the liaison, so please contact me if you have any other questions. I will put my email address in the chat box.
You're the best. Thank you so much.
Sorry about that.
It's all good. I know it goes by super quickly. If you have any questions, please put them in the Q&A. Now, super quickly, I do want to ask my panelists and presenters to come on back. All right, I have a quick question. We'll go briefly. All right. And everyone will get a chance in presentation order to go ahead and, give us a little bit of your expertise. So Stonehill College, what advice would you give someone going through the college search process?
Sure. Yeah. Expertise. I appreciate that. But I would say ask away. Ask till you're blue in the face in terms of questions, because I think a lot of students, and me included in my college search process, I didn't even know what I didn't know. And so I think it's really important to kind of keep that in mind, that you're not the only one with those questions, even if they're uber specific to you. So use your resources and ask those questions.
Awesome. Thank you. Super briefly, Bentley University.
I know that it sounds cliche, but if you have the opportunity to visit school, please try to do so. They say when you know, if you can see yourself at a place for the next 4 years. However, please know that the pandemic changed everything. Most of us have virtual tours available on our website or recorded tours that will at least give you an idea of what a campus looks like. So if you can't make it onto campus physically, definitely check out the different resources on websites so that you have an idea of what campus looks like.
Awesome. College of the Holy Cross.
Yeah, added on to the virtual opportunities, I also want to tag in interviews. A silver lining of the pandemic is that we've been able to reach students where they are. So a lot of colleges are doing virtual interviews. So we love putting a face to an application. So if you have an opportunity, definitely do a virtual interview with colleges that you are interested in.
Awesome. Very briefly, Hampshire College.
I'm going to double up on both of those. See a lot of schools and get there in person. Make yourself know the school that you want to go to. Go to a few that you're not interested in. It will definitely help you fall in love with the school that you know you want to go to.
Thank you so much. Williams College.
Yeah, I just want to say that I think this process is really a mental health process. It's a process where, as a student, you really get to dig deep and think about yourself in a way that you might not have yet. And so I really invite you to just think personally, think about what it is you want from the next few years of your life, think about what you've achieved and what kind of person you are so far. And don't be afraid to get personal in your application and just in general as you go through this process.
Thank you. And St. Anselm.
So really quickly, I'd say try to be organized. It's really tough. You're applying to a lot of different schools with a lot of different usernames and passwords to different portals. So along with your academics that you're doing in your senior year, it's important for you to stay organized when you're applying to colleges so that you can keep track of everything, and then it's not stressing you out as much while you're still doing all of your senior year academics and prom and all that. So just keep yourself organized.
I love it. Thank you all so much for your expertise. And I want to thank you all, my panelists and presenters, for being here. What you do is extremely important. Now, my participants, what you do by showing up is extremely important as well. So thank you so much. Thank you for joining us. A quick survey will appear after you close out this window. Very, very quick. The words are literally on your screen. 5 questions survey. Give us some feedback. Also sign up for more sessions. There's a lot more going on after this, as well as this weekend. So please make sure you're signing up and checking the schedule. And again, if you would like to relive the fun, a recording will be available at strivescan.com/Cristo-Rey. With that said, you all have a great rest of your evening, and I'll see you later. Bye, everybody.